Today, I bring you the summary of the best animated movie of 2022. So start liking the video, and let's begin with the summary. The movie begins by showing us a shooting star that falls into a strange, dark forest. This shooting star is the wish star, and when it falls, it brings life to everything around it. The point is that this star was waiting for someone to grant a wish. On the other hand, we see the legendary and well-known Puss in Boots, who is being praised by everyone. Our heroic feline seizes the opportunity to sing one of his best songs. He enjoys doing his cool dance moves, confronts the corrupt governor and his henchmen, and particularly mocks death because, being a skilled warrior with many lives, he doesn't mind taking risks. Due to the commotion caused by the cat, a giant troll is awakened. However, Puss in Boots is so incredibly skilled in combat that he can defeat it despite being 1/100th of its size. Puss in Boots was celebrating his victory, but suddenly a bell falls on him and he dies. Well, not really, because being a cat with many lives, he wakes up in a doctor's office. The doctor advises him to be more careful and take better care of his lives. Puss in Boots responds by saying that he mocks death because he has 9 lives. However, upon reflecting, he realizes that he has already used up 8 lives, so this is his last one. Frightened, the little cat takes the doctor's advice and considers retiring from a life of adventures. Since Puss in Boots doesn't know what to do next, the doctor suggests visiting Mama Lula, an older lady who kindly takes care of abandoned cats. Puss in Boots, who doesn't see himself as abandoned and doesn't want to retire, walks away, thinking nothing will happen. But suddenly, while enjoying his milk at a bar, a fearsome wolf appears. This wolf is a bounty hunter and introduces himself as Death. Puss in Boots, never backing down from a fight, tries to take down the wolf. However, the wolf quickly proves to be far superior, almost losing his last life in the battle. Puss in Boots gets scared and escapes through the drain, like a coward. Feeling very sad, Puss in Boots decides to go to Mama Lula's to retire and take care of his last life. Before entering, he says goodbye to his beloved hat and boots, burying them in the garden. He leaves behind the legendary Puss in Boots. Inside Mama Lula's house, she takes care of our dear little cat, bathing and warming him. At first, Puss in Boots feels uncomfortable living as a regular cat, but as the days and weeks pass, he gets used to a domesticated life. Adventures no longer matter to him. At one point, Puss in Boots encounters another talking animal that we'll call the canine. The canine pretends to be a cat to live there. This friendly Milanese dog keeps approaching Puss in Boots, trying to be his friend. However, the depressed feline doesn't care about making friends with the dog due to his new life. Meanwhile, we see Goldilocks and the bears searching everywhere for Puss in Boots. More days pass, and we see Puss in Boots aging rapidly. One day, the bears and Goldilocks appear in the house, looking for Puss in Boots, because they believe he has the map to the location of the wish star. As they try to track down Puss in Boots, they mistake his buried clothes for his grave. Puss in Boots feeds Goldilocks with the legend of the last wish star, thinking he has one last chance. If he finds it, he could ask to have 9 more lives. With a new plan in mind, Puss in Boots asks the canine to dig up his clothes. Despite not having his sword, the cat and the dog set off to find the map to the wish star. That's when they encounter Jack Hornick, a big, chubby guy who has the map to the star. He is evil and possesses magical artifacts that can do many malicious things. Taking advantage of the situation, the feline steals the map. But right then, he also comes across Kitty, who is also looking for the map. Just as Goldilocks and the bears show up, chaos ensues as everyone wants the same parchment. In the end, the two felines manage to get hold of the map. As they depart, Puss in Boots hears the wolf's whistle, reminding him that the wolf will eventually catch up to him, and he must hurry to make his wish. Now, calmer but for unknown reasons, we find out that Kitty is very upset with Puss in Boots. Neither of them trusts the other with the map. Together, they pass through a magical door and arrive in the dark forest. Since each cat wants to fulfill their wish, there is a battle of cute eyes to determine who will keep the map. They open the map and realize that the path changes depending on who is the bearer. Upon examining it, they discover that if the dog doesn't have the map, the dark forest becomes beautiful, full of joy and life. From that moment on, the dog becomes the carrier of the map. On the other hand, they realize they need to hurry because Horner, Goldilocks, and the bears have also reached the dark forest to take the map from the cats. Continuing their journey, the felines arrive at a place full of hostile roses that try to cut them. However, the dog shows them that they just need to smell the roses and enjoy the moment. That's the only way to pass through. When Horner encounters these roses, they end up harming some of his chefs. He then uses the Phoenix ship to burn all the roses in the river. The dog practices making the cute face of kittens, but the cat tells him to calm down. At that moment, Puss in Boots asks Kitty to please trim his beard because it makes him look old. Kitty helps him and takes the opportunity to give him a dagger. Meanwhile, the dog goes out to play, and Jack appears, capturing him. Goldilocks and her family also arrive, leading to another short battle between the groups. Kitty tells Puss in Boots that the one who saves the dog will be the one to make the wish. During the battle, Puss in Boots sees that the wolf is getting closer to him. Being a coward, he escapes without a clear destination. The dog is not the only one concerned about him and follows him. When they find him, they realize that the feline is very, very scared. Puss in Boots reveals the truth to the dog. Death is after him, and now he only has one life left. The dog advises him to tell Kitty about the problem, as she will surely help him fulfill his wish of having 9 lives. However, Puss in Boots reveals that Kitty is upset with him because several years ago, he was her boyfriend, but he left her at the altar. Kitty listens to Puss in Boots, who is truly remorseful, and she appears telling her 2 companions that they must search for the map again because Goldilocks took it during the battle. Puss in Boots follows the dog's advice and tries to apologize to Kitty for being a coward and not showing up for her. But at that moment, Kitty tells him that she forgives him because she also didn't show up for him. Meanwhile, Goldilocks is using the map to find the wishing star, and as they continue their journey, she realizes the importance of the bear family to her. Later, the felines encounter Goldilocks, and after a short confrontation, they take the map from her through a dance. However, due to the constant changes in the dark forest, the dog stays with the bears, and Puss in Boots is locked in a glass dome. Kitty quickly goes to rescue the dog, who is having a pleasant conversation with the bears. Meanwhile, Puss in Boots can see each of his 8 lives reflected in the glass and realizes how he was in the past. Upon hearing himself, he feels proud and sings a song. But after a while, he realizes that he wasn't as happy despite living various adventures, and he only enjoyed being alone because he was actually selfish, just as his other lives tell him that he behaves like a loser. The representation of death, embodied in a wolf, appears again. Puss in Boots runs away in fear without a clear direction, and Kitty, seeing that he runs without waiting for her or the dog, believes that he is still the same selfish cat who only used them to fulfill his wish. Kitty confronts him and calls him a treacherous cat, to which Puss in Boots tells her that he truly needs that wish to live. Kitty, not believing him, responds that she wanted that wish to be able to trust someone. At that moment, everyone who wants the wish appears, and another battle ensues, with everyone fighting against each other. In the end, the dog selflessly hands the map to Puss in Boots and tells him that he gives him the wish because he considers him his friend. However, at that moment, Death appears and encloses him in a fiery circle so that no one interrupts them. Death asks Puss in Boots what he will do: fight brave or be a coward, and hide behind the advantage of having multiple lives. Puss in Boots realizes that maybe it's not necessary to have 9 lives, and that he only needed 1 to find a true family. So he chooses not to fulfill his wish and confront Death directly. A great confrontation ensues, to the point where the wolf is disarmed. Puss in Boots returns his weapon and tells him that he will never defeat Death, but he will fight until the end to protect his last life. Upon hearing this, the wolf gets upset and tells Puss in Boots that he has changed because he now values his life. The wolf departs, telling Puss to live his life and live it well, because sooner or later, they will meet again with this threat over. The felines are happy, and Goldilocks is also happy, realizing that she doesn't need any wish because she has her beloved family. But the problems were not over, because at that moment, Jack reappears, just as Puss in Boots is about to make his selfish wish to become the most powerful human with all the magic in the world. The dog pleads with him not to fulfill his wish. To convince him, the dog uses his beautiful puppy eyes. Wow! With this distraction, Goldilocks and the others, who didn't need the wish, managed to break the map. The villain disappears along with the wishing star. Several weeks pass, and now the trio of friends is closer than ever, sharing their adventures. At the end of the movie, we can see them heading to visit their friend, Shrek. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to see more interesting movies.